Not feeling patriotic? Fine. Not supporting our veterans? Not fine. We don't always get the chance to support veterans in the ways that we'd like to, but there are some real tangible ways that we can protect and uplift veterans in the workplace, especially when it comes down to hiring and employment. Many of those who transition into civilian life end up underemployed or unemployed because their skills don't translate neatly onto a resume. Black folks, of course, are overrepresented in the military, and marginalized groups are more likely to enlist. So it is a cycle. And while I couldn't identify research on the recruitment practices of marginalized and vulnerable populations in the military, hiring veterans is still a Black equity issue. So as a result, I am sharing a few lessons that I've learned about hiring veterans, and I encourage you to share a few things that you've learned about supporting veterans in the workplace in the comments. The first thing that we can do, especially in recruitment, is make sure that veterans have resources to help them translate their military experience into civilian language, but also that we take time to learn what is transferable from their language to our language. Most of the time we are missing out on some amazing veteran talent because we don't do this. I've coached veterans as a career coach who were leading teams, managing logistics, and even handling like millions of dollars in assets, but because it wasn't labeled project management or operations, they were being overlooked and having challenges in their job search. That is bias. That is a systems issue. Two, many federal organizations use something called veterans preference. It's used to ensure that veterans are given fair consideration because at the end of the day, our lack of understanding about military work often leads to our own bias in the hiring process. So veterans preference actually gives veterans additional consideration for jobs, enabling us to vet and consider those skills more equitably. And last but not least, create affinity and networking spaces for veterans. Before or after you hire a veteran, consider providing a buddy or a networking space for veterans to connect and learn about the organization or talk about their transition into the workplace or your workplace. Black people are not a monolith, and neither are veterans. This is not about overstepping or over asking, it's about providing access. So don't rely on the veterans in your life to share their needs or do the equity work for your organization to create that safe space. So if you're an HR leader or recruiter or even someone who just believes in equity, I hope that you take time to honor a veteran today, to think about how your work might intersect or impact a veteran, and then identify one thing that you can do to increase opportunity and access. To all of the veterans in my life and in this community, happy Veterans Day.